Well, good Saturday afternoon, sports fans. Thanks for tuning in here on the Fan Sports Network, and we welcome everybody on Trailblazer Sports Vision, another college football game day for your Utah Tech Trailblazers. Devin Dixon and Caden Formaster ready to go, and we are brought to you by Sand Hall Resort, Ernie Stores, Swenson and Shelley Attorneys, Sun State Companies, and our friends at State Bank of Southern Utah, as well as Zag. Caden, another huge test, another road game for the Trailblazers as they get ready to take on a really, really good, top-ranked Tarleton State team. You look at the latest polls, and the Texans, who went Division I at the same timeline as Utah Tech, they are up to 11th in one poll and 13th in the other poll after they went on the road in overtime and beat SUU 38-37. Trailblazers, of course, went out to North Alabama, got pounded pretty good, still looking for their first win of the season.
Yeah, they are. And, again, you talk about Tarleton State. What a great matchup this is going to be just from the fact of you're facing off against a team that's ranked. They're playing really well. And, yeah, they did come in the same time as Utah Tech, and you can kind of see the way that two paths diverge, right? And Tarleton State has made a program that's been really successful, really fast. And it is quite impressive, really, to be able to see that much success right away. So we'll see how they fare tonight in this matchup between Utah Tech, Tarleton State. But we got a little bit of a prequel of it last week with our neighbors to the north, SUU, taking on Tarleton State. So a little bit of some home cooking in that sense, as far as geographically speaking, to see what Tarleton State brings to the table in that game against SUU. Now we'll see what they can do against Utah Tech this week.
The UAC right now has three teams in the top 13 in the latest FCS stats top 25 poll. Of course, South Dakota State's number one, North Dakota State's number two, Montana State, who Trailblazers saw way back in week one, they're at number 3. But then you don't have to go too far down the list. Abilene Christian is all the way up to number 10 with that huge win over Central Arkansas last week. With the loss, Central Arkansas drops from 5 all the way down to number 12. And with that Tarleton State win we just alluded to at SUU in overtime, they've moved up to 13 right now. So the UAC, 3 teams in the top 13. Obviously, it's only the second year of the conference. I don't think that happened last year, so that's the first time we've had 3 teams ranked this high.
Yeah, as far as the UAC goes, maybe when it was established last year and we brought together all these conferences, Austin Peay was one of those that was at the top of the game last year. They've kind of had a little bit of a falling off since then, but it's really become a good football conference in the FCS level of football here. And as you alluded to there, yeah, we have 3 schools here in the UAC, all in the top 13. And the thing for Utah Tech is you get one of them here tonight. You got Central Arkansas still coming up later in the schedule. So you got tough competition on the road ahead of you.
Yeah, no question about it. You look at the UAC standings. The conference is led by Abilene Christian at 3-0. They're 4-2 overall. Tarleton State now 2-0, 5-1 overall. How about North Alabama? Hadn't won a game, started the season 0-5. They've won 2 in a row. They're now 2-1 in conference play after beating the Trailblazers last week handily. Eastern Kentucky 1-0, 3-2 overall. They're up in Cedar City for that homecoming game against the T-Birds. Central Arkansas is now 1-1 and 4-2. SUU is now 1-1 and 2-4. T-Birds probably got to win out if they want to have any hopes to make the playoffs. Austin Peay, which we'll be seeing at Greater Zion Stadium next Saturday, they're 1-2 in conference play, 2-4 overall. And then Utah Tech and West Georgia there towards the bottom of the UAC standings. Still both those teams looking for their first conference win.
Yeah, absolutely. Utah Tech, West Georgia, that is a game that we're going to see coming up later in the schedule as well. But when you start looking at the schedule and you look at how things are playing out, as we mentioned, yeah, you got 2 ranked opponents, but you also are going to have 2 opponents that are down towards the bottom where you are if you're Utah Tech. You got Austin Peay coming up next week. Later in the schedule, you do get to pick up West Georgia, and then, of course, the game against SUU. So in that bottom of the rankings currently, you're going to be facing off against 3, with you being the 4th one. All 4 of those are schools that Utah Tech will have an association with at some point in the season. So you kind of get the top of it and the bottom of it all at some point this season.
Yeah, and both Utah, all but one of the Utah Tech games they played so far, including this one coming up, have been against ranked opponents.
Yeah.
Everybody that they played has been ranked, at least at some point, or is currently ranked. It's been a really tough schedule. Coach Anderson still searching for his first win. Will be upset today. We're going to find out. We're closing in on kickoff. It's a 5 o'clock local kickoff down in Texas. We're going to get it down to Roz a little bit later. He'll talk with Coach Anderson. Still to come, though, we've got Vic Gonzalez, former Trailblazer. We're going to talk about how he's played for the Texans since he's been named their starting quarterback. We also have a little uncertainty who's starting for the Trailblazers. Reggie Graff took some shots, got a little bit banged up last week. Deacon Hill's been in and out of the lineup with some injuries as well. We did see Bronson Barbin come in late in the game last week. The freshman just got back from his mission not too long ago. Another local Region 9 kid that went to Dixie High School. We also Luke McPhail. Maybe he's a guy that could see some reps in this game today. Then we'll meet some of the Trailblazers today. Nolan Reynolds, offensive lineman, and Dane Whalen, one of their defensive linemen. I got to go one-on-one. We'll get to know those guys a little bit. Caden had our coordinator's corner, so that'll be coming up all in the first half of our pregame show, brought to you by Sport Court of Southern Utah. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we keep rolling, getting you ready for kickoff here as Utah Tech is in Texas to take on Tarleton State.
Fabulous, a local full search. It's a car wash and just and inside of Southern is Sandy. Comes to Dr. Experience Pediatric Game Change. When it comes to take our kids' teeth, veteran Dr. Honest Way, 01.
Welcome back, everybody. Trailblazer football presented by Sandy. Get out there to golf. Get out and enjoy the grill. It's open to the public. Station at the Villas Golf. And don't forget, they've got through the end of the month at the Rock Bowl Resort.com. Master here on a Blazer game day. And boy, oh boy, we're getting closer from Dane Whalen in just a minute, Caden. But all of us, we were talking about him. There that season played. Blazers was named All-American. 5 games All-Utah Tech. Led the team with 8 passing yards, 8 attempts for 17 downs. So he numbers. It's been the sick way for Tarleton. He has a starter. He's good. You lose Vic got 89 touchdowns, 76% so far, 106 yards a game. See some former TB, some mates that are see Vic things to say. But no, the Utah hungry for their top to get after him, especially
leadership here. They're always friends on the other side. Utah Tech players, starts. You leave it all out. Don't matter. Expect the battle. Guys on that team who backfield and take him down with the set.
Should be fun. We're still gonna be kind of a game time decision. See who ends up playing quarterback. I'm guessing we're going to see multiple quarterbacks for the Trailblazers in this game. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But let's get to our Ernie's stores. Anytime is a good time for Ernie's hot breakfast or a quick lunch like their famous chicken strips, or to fill up at one of their St. George, Hurricane, Cedar, or Beaver Ernie store locations. Ernie Stores brings you our player spotlights today. I got a chance to talk with defensive lineman Dane Whalen. We'll get to know him a little bit. And then Nolan Reynolds, an offensive lineman for Utah Tech. Getting ready for Trailblazer football, big-time opponent, and Tarleton State. And Dane Whalen joining me now, defensive lineman here for Utah Tech. Dane, first off, tell everybody where you're from and how you ended up here at Utah Tech. Let's get to know you a little bit.
So I'm from Osage City, Kansas. It's a small dot in the road in Kansas. Went to a JUCO out of high school after my senior year and spent a semester there. And then I went down to Louisiana to Nicholls State University. And I was there for 2 years. And then I just transferred out here this last January and been here since now.
What do you think of St. George?
I love it. It's beautiful out here. It's beautiful. People are great. Some crazy food out here. I love it though. It's
okay,
nice.
Good. You lineman, you got to eat, right?
Got to keep the weight on, yes sir.
What's a go-to? What's a go-to meal you found that you like on a game day?
On a game day
Or any day, I don't
Any day. I mean, game days I keep it light. You know, I don't want to feel too heavy. Want to move fast. But any day, I'm a big Ocean's buffet guy. I love the sushi. This sushi's something else, you know.
Okay. Big sushi guy.
Yes, sir.
Dan Whalen with me here. What are you studying?
I'm in recreation and sports management.
Okay.
Sir.
I love it.
Sir.
Love it. Talk a little bit about last week going down to North Alabama, and then the quick turnaround, getting ready for another huge UAC opponent in Tarleton State.
Yeah. You know, not what we wanted to happen at North Alabama. Had a lot to fix up, but the guys worked hard this week. You know, kept the energy up. You know, could have won, came back after a loss like that, and kept the energy down and not bounce back. But we really bounced back this week. Kept the energy up and just played football. Love this sport, you know. And then going down to Tarleton, it's another good team. Get a good line to play against and a really good running back. Just gonna have to stay patient and tackle him, get him on the ground, and take him out of the game. And we're gonna have to play some ball. Be a good game though.
What are some keys for the defense and the D line specifically? They've got some really talented skill guys, a receiver, running back, capable quarterback. What's important?
Just doing our job. You know, stay in our gap, not doing too much. Do your job, do your 111th, and let the rest of the guys do their 111th, and we're going to be just fine. You know, staying in your gap, tackling the ball, covering for us, rushing the passer, just everything you do on a day in, day out situation. Just do it all over again and, you know, play your game.
You said not the result you wanted. The season hasn't gone as planned right now. How big would it be if you guys go down there and upset, you know, a top 15 team in the country in conference play?
It'd be huge. You know, get a win under our belt and just get the morale up and get our momentum. We're a momentum team throughout the spring and fall camp. You know, whatever side had the momentum in practice, that's who was going after it. So we get the whole team of momentum. You know, swing this season around and get some big wins coming here later in the season.
I know you're not a doctor and you're not a coach, but you know, injuries are part of football, right? But you guys got a good core. You feel confident with the guys you got on Saturday that are available on the defensive side?
Absolutely. You know, we've all been playing together all year, and you know, we keep a good rotation. Everybody gets reps with everybody. You know how each other play, and you know, going in, we're really confident coming in Saturday.
Any shout outs for mom, dad, brothers, sisters, anybody out there watching?
Yeah, we'll see everybody. You know, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, my nephew, they're all coming, and we'll see you guys Friday, Saturday.
All right, there you go. Dane Whalen, everybody here on the Fan Sports Network and Trailblazer Sports Vision. Thanks for the time and good luck.
Thanks for having me.
We got the offensive lineman himself, Nolan Reynolds, with us here on Trailblazer Sports Vision and the Fan Sports Network. And Nolan, first off, tell me about the journey, redshirt junior, getting to St. George and becoming a Trailblazer. What was that backstory?
Just the coach that was here before recruited me, and just he was originally a SoCal guy too, so we had a good connection there, and just love the city, it's somewhat close to home, so love that, and just love the beautiful city around here.
And tell everybody a little bit about yourself. What's something, maybe one thing that nobody knows about you?
I love to cook. I don't like to cook a lot because I don't like to clean dishes, but I love to cook.
Okay.
I just love like that process, and
you like to eat it once it tastes.
Yeah. I just don't like to clean.
What's your go-to? What's a dish that you cook up on an off day, maybe on a Sunday when you're not as busy?
Tri-tip. I love to do tri-tips in like the oven, or do it on barbecue or something like that. Cook some potatoes, some veggies.
Okay. Do you let the offensive lineman share the tri-tip, or you take that all down?
Tell my roommate, but
I love it. What about what what about superstitions? Game day superstitions. Anything you got to do? You got to wear the same socks, or you got to listen to the same song.
Listen to the same playlist ever since my freshman year, and just started at the same time every day, and just let it run, and it ends the same song every time right before we go out.
Give me one song on the playlist.
Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider.
Okay, there we go. Learning something about Nolan here, offensive lineman. You know, we have a lot of different quarterbacks play this year. Is it seamless no matter who's behind center as the signal caller as you guys are looking for your first win of the season?
Definitely. I mean, I think through practice, I just get the confidence with each quarterback, and it's a pretty seamless transition when they go in.
What's the chemistry in the O-line like? You guys spend a lot of time on the field, but off the field, is this a close-knit unit?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think we had guys come and go, and so the guys that are still here, everybody, we're all friends, and we all hang out, and we like to get after it.
Nolan with me here, getting ready for Tarleton State. All right, talk about their defense a little bit and what fans can expect when kickoff comes.
You know, they're a good defense. They like to shock and shed you, but I think with the base technique that we have, we'll be able to pick it up and be able to score touchdowns all night.
Is morale staying high? I mean, I caught the end of practice. It looks like energy is really high for a team that's still looking for that elusive first win of the season.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we're all hungry. We're ready to get after it, and we want to get after it Saturday night.
It was a big time opponent. You saw what they did last week, winning in overtime. Go shock the world. Go get them.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for the time, buddy. Good to get to know you a little bit.
Thank you.
Your child's sports journey starts with the City of St. George Recreation. From their first steps on the quarter field to becoming a star player, our youth sports programs are here to develop talents and teamwork skills. So get out and play. Check out all the sports and get signed up at sgcityrec.org.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Huge news! Sport Court has a brand new showroom and design center, and it's next level. See why so many are choosing Sport Court here in Southern Utah for top quality basketball, pickleball, and multi-purpose courts. Learn more at sportcourtofsouthernutah.com.
At Great Harvest, we believe in crafting more than just bread. We provide crisp, garden-fresh salads and savory sandwiches. Everything from garden-fresh ingredients to our signature handcrafted bread. Our friendly staff will guide you to find a meal that will leave you craving seconds. At Great Harvest, we truly provide something for everyone. And don't forget our baked goods. Satisfy your sweet tooth and finish your meal with a brownie or cinnamon roll. Come visit us at Great Harvest.
Welcome on in, Coordinator's Corner here at the Fan Sports Network. Caden Formaster, and I am joined with Special Teams Coordinator Coach Bonner Bordelon. And Coach, it's good to have you back here in the studio with us.
Yep, thank you for having me. Glad to be back.
Absolutely. So we've gotten through 6 games, getting ready for Tarleton State coming up. I know the outcome hasn't been as you guys would have hoped for, but tell me kind of about the perspective that you guys have on this season up to this point.
Yeah, you know, the end results of the games, the scores, haven't been what we wanted. But, every week you just have to go back to work and just continue to build on the fundamentals, just keeping a positive attitude. That's the main thing. But, everybody's stayed positive and wants to show back up to work and just keep going and try to grind out a win.
So tell me a little bit about the special teams side. I know that special teams have seen a lot of action, quite frankly, right? I know that we've seen a lot from punters and kickers here. So tell me a little bit about what you're seeing in game from the special teams that are maybe some of the good things that we're seeing from your special team side.
Yeah, so starting off with Andy, he's our punter, and he's gotten a lot of work. He's punting at a higher rate than we would want right now, but he's doing a good job. He's punting, above his typical average right now in terms of distance, and he's doing a good job of matching his distance with this hang time. And the reason we want that is so that we're able to get our coverage down the field. So we want the ball to stay in the air as long as possible before the returner catches it and gets moving. So he's doing a good job at that, preventing returns. Last week, we punted 9 times, and they didn't get any returns on us. So that's a credit to him. And then the kicking wise, Ilya, he's kicking off at a really good rate. You know, he's has a pretty good touchback percentage, which is what we want from our kickoff guy. We don't want our guys covering the kicks to have to cover full field and cover returns all day long. You know, having a higher touchback rate is good for our team overall. So I'm pleased with him on that.
I like that. Absolutely. Do you guys ever, as a unit, you know, let's say it's kind of a 4th and short situation, do you have any like those trick plays in your back pocket just in case? Are you like, hey, you know what, 9 times out of 10, maybe 99 times out of 100, just punt the ball away? But do you ever plan for those scenarios where like maybe we do try to trick them here?
Yes. So you go into games with an idea of what you can maybe exploit, and then you game plan around that, and then you can send the call in that situation, and then you have the ability to get out of it if you're not seeing exactly what you want. Sometimes those things can, in terms of installing and repping, you know, 9 like 10, you're not going to call it. So how much into this? And there's always room for preparing for that. To answer your question bluntly, but you also know that 9 times you're either going to punt it away or it's going to go for it. In a 4th and the offense of picking it up rather than, you know, sending out a, if you will. Yes, there are situations where we can plan accordingly. And
it's something the fans always love to see when it's done successfully. I'm sure the players probably love to see it done successfully, but as coaches, I'm sure it makes you sweat bullets.
Yeah, because if it goes wrong, you really look bad. You really,
right.
Yeah. So if it goes well, you look like a genius. Whenever, honestly, it's probably a little bit of luck.
Right.
Maybe even mostly luck. Whenever it happens, you just kind of call it and hope it works out. But whenever it goes bad, it looks really bad. So you just have to be picky and choosy about that.
I love it. So tell me a little bit about the competition so far. So, you know, just recently we had Abilene Christian, you got Tarleton State coming up, eventually Central Arkansas, all 3 of those UAC teams, all ranked teams. But then you also get some later in the season with West Georgia, for example, Austin Peay, that are kind of towards the bottom as well. Do you guys ever look at opponents and think, all right, they're kind of ranked at this point, you know, they're going to be really good. They're going to be maybe, hey, this is a matchup that maybe we fit better with, or is it really just kind of the one game at a time mentality? And hey, you know what? I don't care if they're good or not good. We just have to be prepared. What do you guys go into it thinking?
Yeah, the overall picture is it's one game at a time, and we just go into it expecting to have a good game plan and guys playing well, playing hard, and all that. And as far as seeing the rankings, that doesn't necessarily determine what we think they're good or bad at. You know, you just watch the film and you see what they're good or bad at. There are teams that we play that, you know, they may be ranked here, ranked there, and then a team that's not ranked is better in a certain spot than the other team. And so it's just, you know, you kind of take everything. There's a holistic view, but then you kind of take the individual parts of the game and you just look at it in a vacuum, and then you just look at all the different vacuums, and then you look at it holistically again, kind of a whole observation and then teaching. But yeah, we don't necessarily pay attention to the rankings, but we have some really good competition. You know, their rankings are justified. So
sure.
We don't necessarily base our attitude or outlook on what we think is going to happen based on that. But whoever's doing the rankings is doing a good job of determining who's good.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely. Coach, you got, again, Tarleton State coming up, and we're seeing, we see a former player in Vic Gabalis as quarterback who used to play here at Utah Tech, who, again, before your time here, but I know for a lot of Utah Tech fans, they might be excited to see him on a field again. But again, he's just on the other side of the line this time. What is it like for some of these players who maybe played against him, and maybe like any other time that you have someone that you know on the other side of the field? What's it like from their perspective when they're playing against friends?
Yeah, the only way I can really compare that is as far as a coach goes, you typically know at least somebody on the other sideline. And pregame, it's hey, how are you? Good luck. It's all all good. It's all friendships and all that. But in the game, you just kind of forget that kind of just goes away, and it's just about doing your job. It's very professional. It's you don't really even think about it, and then after the game, you love somebody up. But I wouldn't expect any of our guys to play better, worse, or any differently than they normally would, just because they know some guys over there.
Love it. Coach, thank you, and best of luck Saturday against Tarleton State.
All right, I appreciate you.
Coordinator's Corner here in our pregame show. Game day live, getting you ready for kickoff. Trailblazers in Texas to take on number 11 and number 13, depending on which poll you stay. Texans, a huge game back who are looking for, again, their first win of the season. I'm Devin Dixon with Caden Formaster. Appreciate some of our great partners bringing you the pregame coverage today. Sand Hall Resort, Ernie Stores, Swenson & Shelley, Sun State Companies. Transform your outdoor space with Sun State Companies. And, of course, State Bank of Southern Utah. Check out their big interest checking account for a limited time. And Zag. Get to Zag for the latest phone, cases, accessories. 3 Southern Utah locations, 2 in St. George and 1 in Cedar City. Caden, we've break this game down from a lot of different angles. There's a lot of games in the UAC today, just so everybody has an idea. Only one game going on right now. That's SUU and Eastern Kentucky. Central Arkansas and West Georgia just kicked off a bit ago. North Alabama, Abilene Christian kicking off at the same time as this one, Utah Tech and Tarleton State. So busy day in the UAC as everybody's shuffling for position and everybody's looking at those 3 undefeated teams remaining. Abilene Christian, Tarleton State, who the Trailblazers got today, and Eastern Kentucky, who they're in the second half against SUU. So we'll see what the final scoreboard looks like a little bit later on tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things all play out in the conference here. There's some really good games that are either on their way to finishing up or just kicked off, whatever, and still more good ones to come. And this one will be fun. We'll see what they can bring to the table. But I think I'm really excited about in this game is to see the talent. I always like to see the talent throughout the UAC, and Tarleton State has some as well. They've got some really good, talented players on their team. For example, Kayvon Britton, he's over 1,000 yards rushing already on the season, and he's got 9 touchdowns. His longest, a 96-yarder. Those are always fun to see.
To the house. That's a. I got to go look at that. That's highlight reel material, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he's one of those bright spots right now in the Tarleton offense, doing it off of 100 attempts here, and we'll see what he brings here. But I mean, then you throw into the receiving game. You do have Darius Cooper to watch out for as well. He's at 405 yards, but He's done it quite well, averaging over 13 yards reception. So he's another one of those Tarleton offensive players, one of those skill players to watch out for if you're Utah Tech.
You look at some of the team statistics, and this is what at hand for Utah Tech. They're only scoring 16 points a game. Trailblazers got to find the offense going. Tarleton scoring 27-plus points a game and only giving up 28 a game. Meanwhile, Utah Tech, they've been giving up an average of 49 points a game. Obviously, it's a new coaching staff, a lot of young players. There's been some injuries, but the future is now got to try to figure this thing out. And this is going to be a tall order. Utah Tech, big underdogs in this game. Watching the film from Tarleton last week against SUU, I see maybe, one of their cornerbacks, they're one of the receivers that maybe have NFL talent. I've been hearing that NFL scouts have been floating around, keeping an eye on a couple of these guys from Tarleton State. So you probably hear their name quite a bit in the broadcast today. There's some talent on this Texans team, no doubt about it. Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. There's a lot of talent here, and it comes on both sides of the ball as well. And you don't get to be a ranked team if you don't have good talent on both sides and in both facets of the game. So yeah, there's definitely it's a tall order here for Utah Tech in this one here tonight, because listen, this is a talented team, no doubt about it. So Utah Tech really has to bring their A game. They have to make sure that they're prepped and ready to go. And if Reggie Graff cannot go, I got a little beat up in the North Alabama game. We saw Bronson Barbin. Both these guys are former Dixie Flyer quarterbacks. Bronson Barbin was impressive. I don't know how many he hung around late as that game was kind of already decided on the scoreboard, but he goes 5 of 8 in his debut as a Trailblazer, 137 yards, and the only 2 touchdowns of the game, including a 75-yard pass completion in that game. So will we see Barbin, Deacon Hill, Reggie Graff, Luke McPhail, or a compilation? Well, stay tuned to find out, as the Trailblazers quarterback has been a little bit in flux this year. Yeah, and I am really curious to see who they go with. I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple guys. We kind of met in the pregame show. I would not be surprised if we see Bronson Barbin. If Reggie Graff is ready to go, then yeah, we'd probably see him. I don't know about Deacon Hill's status either. Maybe Luke McPhail, Reggie Graff, and Deacon who beat up. We'll probably see both Luke Barbin. So it will question mark for. Maybe we'll see if Rod Zundel's going to. Maybe he has a little more insight on. Have to wait until kickoff. Interesting to see if Parker, Eric Olson, Shamar Garrett, Daniel Thomason, Shernette Estes, some of these guys can make some plays in the receiving core. Maybe it's Jay McEwen, the other tight end, True Tanner. If you need to get, 3 or 4 of these guys to have 4 or 5 catches, really need to get the offense going, because the run game has just not been there. And I'm not sure if you can really consistently run the ball against this front seven for the Texans. So whoever's the quarterback is probably going to need to do some things in the air if the Trailblazers are going to notch their first victory of the season. Yeah, I can agree with that. I think getting it through the air is going to be really important. And that's one thing Bronson Barbin actually did quite well when he came in those limited minutes. And I do understand that was going up against probably the bench of North Alabama. But still, I mean, if he's got some confidence to try to air it out to some of his receivers, like whether it be Eric Olson or Parker, whoever, it'd be nice to see them get that passing game going early. Again, want to thank Sand Hall Resort, Ernie Stores, Swinson & Shelley, Sun State Companies, ZAG, our friends at State Bank of Southern Utah, all of our great local partners helping us bring you Trailblazer football. Always fun for Kate and I here in the Fan Sports Network Findlay Studios to host the pregame show. And we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get it down to Texas. It's Utah Tech taking on number 11 and number 13, depending on which poll you look at, the Tarleton State Texans. We'll get it to Rod Zundel right after this timeout. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday back at home against Austin Peay.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Out there, 1, 2, 3.
Garrett Fotuning. Ball on the ground, and fumble recovery by Utah Tech. Makes the dive and catch, touchdown.
Welcome to Trailblazer Kickoff, presented by Camping World of St. George. Your next great outdoor adventure begins under the big American flag.
Let's go!
We're in Stephenville, Texas, the cowboy capital of the world. as the Trailblazers look to lasso their first win of the season against the 11th-ranked team in the nation in FCS, Tarleton State. We're 30 minutes from kick. Trailblazers and Texans.
And welcome inside Memorial Stadium here on the campus of Tarleton State University in Stephenville, Texas. Glad to have you aboard this evening or this afternoon, wherever you may reside. Rod Zundel here, and welcome. We are on the east side of the stadium, so we have the sun glaring in, so it's a little bit different setup. Usually we're on the west side of the stadium, and with the sun at our back. Now the sun is right in our face, so we've kind of got it blocked off, so hopefully you'll be able to see us. Good. There we go. Good enough. But anyway, Trailblazers come in looking for their first win. They're 0-6, coming off a loss last week at North Alabama, 60-14 to the Lions. Meanwhile, Tarleton State, they're on a roll. They've won 4 in a row, including last week at Cedar City, overtime win over Southern Utah, 38-37. They've won 4 in a row, as I mentioned, and they've won 9 of their last 10 dating back to last week. All right, Caden and Devin asked the question, who will be the starting quarterback today here in Stephenville? Well, I have your answer. It is going to be true freshman Bronson Barbin out of Dixie High School. He'll get his first career start this evening here in Stephenville. Reggie Graff got to start his second career start last week at North Alabama. And so Reggie got banged up a little bit, had some trouble, and Bronson Barbin, as you mentioned, came in 5 of 8, 137 yards, a couple of touchdowns. So Bronson Barbin's going to get his first start tonight as a true freshman.
Wide open down the middle. Caught, touchdown, Trailblazers. And how about that? And that's Barbin's first career touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. It's been a process for sure, but I've had the help of the coaches and my teammates as well. So I'm excited to go out there and just compete with my brothers.
What was it like coming in and playing for the first time in a game in a couple of years last week?
Yeah, it's something really exciting, just to be able to play in a collegiate game. It's what I've always dreamed of, so just being able to go out there and play with these guys that we've worked with, since summer camp, it's amazing.
How much confidence did you gain from what you did last week at North Alabama?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely just with that, you gain a lot of confidence and just experience. I think that's the biggest thing that I was able to get, just a little more experience playing in the collegiate level. So, is this somewhat surreal? You come off a mission in June and now you're starting? Yeah, for sure. But the coaches have helped me a ton, and all the quarterbacks, they've really taken me in and helped me to learn the plays and the reads. So I'm just excited to get out there and start playing.
So true freshman Bronson Barbin out of Dixie High School getting his first career start after going 5 of 8, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. And one thing that the coaches were impressed with Barbin is how cool and calm he was in the pocket, and he was able to stand up there. He's 6'4", so he's got a good view of everything, and how he was just able to stand up there, keep his composure, and just fire the rocket and complete 5 of 8 passes. So we'll see how he does today. So last week, North Alabama, that was thought going into that game that was the best matchup the Trailblazers have had all season long. However, it didn't turn out that way with the final score. But some good things happened, and we go back now with the sounds of the game from last week in Florence, Alabama.
From the banks of the Tennessee River in Florence, Alabama, Utah Tech looking for its first win of the season against North Alabama.
And welcome everybody inside Raleigh Stadium. And it is a hot and muggy afternoon here. Hand off to the left side, right into the blitz. Spencer Rich is right there. Moody, nowhere to go. He's going to lose a couple. Jay Sweet out of Crimson Cliffs High School. Just as he got smacked by Brevin Hamlin right in the middle of the pack. And Hamlin knocked his block off. Hand off to Stone right up the middle. Brett Stone running hard. Plenty of time across the middle. Caught! What a throw, what a catch by Shamar Garrett. New quarterback for the Trailblazers. First appearance for Bronson Barbin, the freshman. Across the middle, caught by Shamar Garrett. He is pelted at the 30. Barbin drops back, caught. Jernette Estes at midfield. So here we go, 4th down. Fake the handoff, wide open down the middle. Caught, 10, 5, touchdown, Trailblazers. And how about that? Bronson Barbin to Alec Burton. And that's Barbin's first career touchdown. Alaveo almost had the running back in the backfield, but then he had a bunch of help from his buddies all the way back to the 32-yard line. There's some chirping going on back and forth between the offense and defensive linemen. Marvin fakes the pass out in the flat, down the sideline, wide open to Parker. Midfield, 45-40, 35-30, still on his feet. He could go all the way down. Bryce Parker, touchdown from Bronson Marvin. Oh, what a play. So that will do it. Utah Tech still in search of their first win of the season. They'll head back to St. George and get ready to try to get it next Saturday in Stephenville, Texas against Tarleton State. So a few bright spots last week in Florence, Alabama, but not nearly enough, and they're going to have to need a lot more of those bright spots today here against the 11th ranked team in FCS, Tarleton State. Now, some familiar face we'll be seeing today here on the field. Number 11 will be Victor Gabalish. You remember him? Yeah, back 2 years ago in 2022, he was the starting quarterback. He started 5 games for Utah Tech, and now he's a starting quarterback for Tarleton after transferring. Last week, he was 18 of 32, 285 yards and a touchdown against Southern Utah. He's 12-3 as a starter at Tarleton State. Utah Tech, he threw for nearly 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns 2 years ago. But, of course, this offense, it all starts and ends with Kayvon Britton, the running back, transferred from Arkansas Pine Bluff. He leads the FCS, the entire country, in rushing with over 1,000 yards. And, in matter of fact, he is number 2 in all of college football, FCS or FBS, and he only trails Boise State's running back, Giante. So he's the real deal. He's averaging 171 yards rushing per game, and the Trailblazers give up over a couple hundred yards rushing per game. So the keys to the game here, stop Kayvon Britton. Nobody's able to do it because last week against Southern Utah, 37 carries, 194 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And he's a guy that when you watch him on film, he'll just go up and stutter step and pick and choose and be very patient where he wants to go, kind of like Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers a few years ago. Just wait, kind of go up and down the line, and boom, hits the hole. So they've got to be patient. And Patrick Moynihan, the defensive coordinator for Utah Tech, told me a couple of days ago that instead of just going and shooting the gaps and trying to get him, they're going to have to hold their block, see where he goes, and then when he makes the decision, they're going to have to make a decision, and hopefully it's not too late by then. So, all right, we are going to take a break. When we come back, we will find out who one of the most famous alums to attend Tarleton State. He's an Academy Award winner. And also, we'll go to the film room. Coach Anderson will break down a couple of plays from last week. That's when Trailblazer Kickoff comes back to Stephenville, Texas. D.R. Horton is America's largest home builder, but with a local heart. Nestled just west of the Sand Hollow Recreation Area is a 600-acre master planned community with beautifully designed single-family homes, cottages, and townhomes called Long Valley. Visit us at drhorton.com and join us in continuing the American dream of home ownership and build your next home with D.R. Horton, America's builder.
Experience the magic of Southern Utah from the sky and the ground at Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons. They take you on breathtaking journeys across the stunning landscapes of St. George, Hurricane, and beyond. But why just visit when you can live here? Priority First Real Estate is dedicated to helping you find your dream home. Together, they bring you closer to the community, closer to nature, closer to home. Confetti Pebbles Hot Air Balloons and Priority First Real Estate, where adventure meets home.
Hey there, sports fans. Ready to take a timeout from the sidelines and jump into the action? St. George Regional Airport has you covered. Score big with convenient flights that take you from our Red Rocks to destinations around the globe. Whether it's the bright lights of L.A. or an exotic getaway across the Pacific, your adventure starts right here at home. When you're planning that epic getaway, St. George Regional Airport is your home field advantage.
You got something?
One of the most famous alum of Tarleton State, the late actor George Kennedy. He won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Role in the 1967 film Cool Hand Luke alongside Paul Newman.
My boy says he can eat 50 eggs, he can eat 50 eggs.
Late in his career, best known for a supporting role in the Naked Gun series starring Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah, George Kennedy, back in a long time ago, attended Tarleton State before he went on to become a Academy Award winner. All right, time now to go into the film room. Head coach Lance Anderson wants to break down a couple of the plays that worked last week in Florence, Alabama in this edition of Film Session.
Okay, I'm going to start here with a couple defensive plays. I want to show a defensive sequence here that is a good example of the kind of execution we're looking for consistently on defense, where we're able to get stops, force punts, and get off the field. So we're going to call a run-stopping blitz here on defense. You'll see our inside linebacker step up, and he's going to blitz the B gap here. A couple things just to take note of here is a really good edge set here by our defensive end here, Rick Mwae. Our left defensive end, Fisher Jackson, is in great position here to be able to play the quarterback if he keeps the ball. Our other inside linebacker, Jared Fotu, does a great job of getting over the top to make the play. And then with this particular blitz and the movement we create, they turn our defensive lineman, John Sniffen, free, and he's able to make a tackle for loss here. So one of the first things you'll see here is Spencer Rich step up in the line of scrimmage. He's going to blitz the B gap. Just great execution here by the defense. We have a tackle for loss of a yard here. On this particular third down, you can see that we've got a lot of guys walked up here in the line of scrimmage. We're trying to show pressure. We're going to drop guys out and only end up with a three-man rush. We're going to play man coverage with a couple extra underneath defenders here. And some really good drops by our underneath players. So if we pause the film here, you'll see that we've got great man coverage across the board, and you'll see that now we have these extra droppers that help with these short underneath routes. You can see they're trying to get guys open right at the first down. These guys do a great job of taking that away. A key here also is the pass rush. With only 3 guys, we don't have a great rush, but you can see our guys are pushing the pocket. They're getting in the quarterback's face. He doesn't feel like he has a lot of times, and he has to rush the throw. So we'll watch this play develop as the quarterback drops back, throws, great coverage, and you'll watch in particular here Quincy LeJay with great coverage, makes a play on the football, knocks the ball away. All right, I'm going to take you to our first touchdown in the game in the fourth quarter here, touchdown to Alec Burton. This is a 4th and 1, and going into the game, we were hoping that we would get this situation in the game where we had a short yardage situation where we could really sell the run and have a chance to hit a big play action pass. North Alabama had shown a tendency to be very aggressive in short yardage situations, play a cover 0 defense where they're in man coverage across the board. There are no safeties deep, and that situation came up here. And the play was very well designed by our offensive coordinator, Greg Stevens, and very well executed here. A couple things to look for is you're going to look for our tight end, Alec Burton, sneak through the line of scrimmage and make it look like he's getting up to the second level to block a linebacker before he releases down the seam. Other key components here are just the offensive line and the running back selling the run, but the offensive line in particular being able to stay in protection there, be able to hold those blocks and give the quarterback Bronson Barbin time to throw. 4th down and 1. And here's Alec Burton that I mentioned, released through the line of scrimmage. Looked like he's going to block the linebacker, and he'll release right down the seam here. You can see he's wide open. Bronson does a great job of selling the run with the play fake, stepping back, getting that ball up in the air, and giving Alec an opportunity to catch that ball, make a play, and score a touchdown. The release by Alec Burton, selling the run. A real key here is our left tackle, Jacob Zarate, out here on the edge. And he gets just enough of this blitzer off the edge just to keep him away from the quarterback and just gives the quarterback enough time to make this throw. But also it's impressive to watch Bronson Barbin here just under pressure, how he does a great job of selling the fake and still very calm, makes the throw.
When Trailblazer kickoff comes back to Stephenville, Texas, we will get a bird's eye perspective of what it's like to be quarterback Reggie Graff through his eyes at a recent practice. That's when Trailblazer kickoff comes back to Stevensville.
Welcome to St. George Academy, home of the Dragon Slayers, where academic excellence meets individualized learning right here in Southern Utah. At St. George Academy, we believe in challenging our students with rigorous curriculum, preparing them for a demanding college experience and beyond. And it's all tuition free. Our unique Pathway University program offers accelerated courses, allowing students to earn college credits in high school. Experience the St. George Academy difference, schedule your tour today, and join us on your educational journey.
Yesco is a proud partner of Trailblazer Sports Vision and Utah Tech Athletics. Yesco specializes in manufacture of custom electric signs and displays. From the smallest to the largest, Yesco can design, manufacture, install, and maintain an identification package that is tailored to your specific needs. Yesco has been serving Utah businesses for well over 100 years with quality signage and exceptional service. To see how Yesco can serve you, go to yesco.com.
Craving something sweet but healthy? Come to Berries and Cream, the original spot for fresh berries in our delicious sweet cream. Locally owned and operated right here in St. George. We offer a cold, refreshing treat that's perfect for the southern Utah climate. Fresh fruit has never tasted so good. Berries and Cream, the original taste of St. George.
Back here in Stephenville, Texas for Trailblazer kickoff. We're just 10.5 minutes away from kickoff, Utah Tech and the Tarleton State Texans. Rod Zundel here, glad to have you aboard as we get you ready for kickoff. Time now to go inside the helmet of quarterback Reggie Graff at a recent practice to see what it's like to be a QB through his eyes, through his face mask, and what he has to go through every day at practice. Here's Inside the Helmet with Reggie Graff.
I'm Reggie Graff. I'm from here in St. George, Utah. I went to Dixie High School. Come join me at practice.
Ready, set. Ready, set. Good, Daniel.
Okay, so look, read it, and if that guy started wide with it, but he sit down. Just throw it
Yeah.
to the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, baby.
Got them both.
Yeah, Bronze. Ready, set. Oh. Ready, set. Ready, set. Ready, set. Come on. Ready, set. Oh, sorry.
No. It's good. I have to work around you. I like it. Let's get the close up.
Mwah.
Get the close up. Get the close up. Just get it wet. Don't hurt me. Oh.
Ready, set. Good, Daniel.
The back here. They brought saw. Well, they pointed the mic.
Right, they're stacked there, just alert it. And then the guy to the left, if you don't go with the back, then you can just
like he did. Okay. Come on, it's not there.
Good ball. Good ball.
My quarterback's on zip today. Yeah!
Andre, look at him go. Ready, set.
I got a free stat. This is gonna be kind of a cool.
I'm on TV. Ready, set. Ready, set. Yeah, buddy.
I hope that looked cool on camera.
Oh, yes, sir. 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
Hope it was fun seeing the field from the quarterback perspective. Go Trailblazers.
All right, pretty fun to see what Reggie Graff and all the quarterbacks go through at a recent practice. All right, now it's time to get the final word with Utah Tech head football coach Lance Anderson on last week's game and looking ahead to tonight against Tarleton State.
Well, Coach, another top 15 team in the nation. You got to go against Tarleton.
Yeah, we're getting used to playing against good competition. I mean, they will certainly physically challenge us this week. It'll be another tough matchup for us for sure. But we're excited about the opportunity.
They hand it off to Britton. He's got a lane.
They probably have the best running back that you'll face this year, leading rusher in the nation. What are you going to try to do to try to contain him?
You know, it's a different style. I mean, he's a very patient runner, and then he can quickly accelerate. So defensively this week, the key is going to be, just making sure our fits are correct, gap integrity. Everybody's really got to have an emphasis on doing their job, being disciplined. And then once we have opportunities, we have got to bring our feet, wrap up, and tackle.
You're on your third starting quarterback in 7 games. Bronson Barbin, true freshman.
Wide open down the middle. Touchdown, Trailblazers. And that's Barbin's first career touchdown.
Talk about what you expect from him.
I expect Bronson to be very calm out there. I expect him to go out and compete. As a freshman, sure, he's going to make a few mistakes, but I think he's going to make some great throws and going to do some good things for us on Saturday.
What did you see last week that said, okay, he can be a starter for us?
You really see his arm talent, his ability to make all the throws. And I think what I was most impressed with was just his composure, his calmness when he took the field. It was not too big for him. I'm excited to see him play.
After last week, how's practice been this week with your guys?
It's been good, and that's you worry about that when you're 0-6. But I was very impressed, especially on Tuesday morning. We practiced a little bit earlier than normal, a lot of energy, and I think we started the week out right. And we've had a good week. We just need to see that translate to Saturday.
We know it's execution and effort. But what do you want to see specifically out of your guys this week that you haven't been able to see the last couple of weeks?
Maybe a little bit different message this week. I mean, I want to see our guys having fun playing football. You've got to enjoy it. We need to see a group that looks like they love football. So really this week, I want to see guys having fun, competing on the football field.
Do you feel as you go into the 11th ranked team, 0-6, they've got everything going for them, that it's kind of you against the world and you can shock a lot of people?
There certainly is. I mean, that mentality where you watch the film, you look at the matchups. Yeah, it's going to be a big challenge for us, but we've got nothing to lose, and we're excited about the opportunity. Again, we should be excited to play football, and that's what we want to see on Saturday night.
All right, head coach Lance Anderson, the final word as we are getting ready for kickoff. Utah Tech and the 11th ranked team in FCS, the Tarleton State Texans. It's homecoming for the Texans. You can hear this game on the Fan Sports Radio Network, and then we'll be back here again for the postgame show immediately following the game. Texans and Trailblazers coming up next.